Hello, this is Broyar, and welcome to a brand new Let's Try series for PC Building Simulator. This game actually came out, I think January 29th was the official release date, although it might have been an early release before that. But I personally was not made aware of this game until, fairly recently. But since it came out, I've been playing it quite a bit for numerous reasons. But it's been a lot of fun, and I figured we'll try a quick little maybe 3-episode Let's Try of this just to kind of show off a little bit of it and just kind of see where we go from there. But part of the reason I like, this game, I like simulator games like this where you're building things, like the car mechanic simulators, and there's a new plane mechanic simulator out there now, things like that. I actually do enjoy these kinds of games a lot. I think that they're very fun, but just PC building in general is something that I also enjoy. I haven't done a lot of it lately. I mean, PC building is a bit of an expensive hobby, but to me it feels like kind of Legos, but maybe a little bit more expensive. Although I say that, and I do have a $800 Millennium Falcon Lego set over there, so I guess I do have Legos that are as much as PCs these days. But you know what I mean, like to get some of the really big, beefy, water cooled and all that kind of stuff. It's fun to do, but it's not something that like everybody can do because it costs a lot of money to kind of support that kind of hobby. So enter a game like this where we can kind of build a PC on a PC. Like I'm playing a PC, building. I mean, yeah, you know what I mean. It's kind of funny, but you can see this is a kind of a new game because it does have. We already have an RTX 2080 Ti right here on the front. We got some liquid cooled CPU stuff like that. So, and it does have name brand parts. We got a Thermaltake. I guess power supply down here, and there's a lot of other parts in here that are name brand. You're gonna see some, I think, non-name brand that you can kind of get, okay, that's an offshoot of something else. But there's definitely plenty of name brand components in here that are going to be a lot of fun to play around with. Also, there's certain things that you can do, such as run a 3D Mark simulation. And it actually does run the actual 3D Mark simulation that you see. I mean, I think it's a trimmed down version of it, but it is the same one that I would run if I was going to run 3D Mark on my computer right now. So it's actually pretty cool that all the little details and things they brought into it, because I know it costs money to bring in name brands and stuff like that, but I think it definitely adds that element of realism to the game overall. So it's definitely a lot of fun. But anyway, we're going to jump into the career that I've already got going because, I don't want to start at the very beginning because there's some really basic stuff at the beginning that kind of takes a little bit to get past. I'm not super far into it, but I figure we'll jump into the part where I'm at and kind of go from there and see where we go. So here we go. So the general premise of this game is that you are, your uncle, I think it is, gave you this, he kind of ran this company, this mechanic, PC mechanic, company, if you will, kind of into the ground, honestly. He kind of has a bad reputation and not really making money and things like that. So he's kind of given it to you. It's still named his thing, Tim's Red Hot Repairs. And as it says here, you must own 25% of the company to change its name, which I don't own 25% of the company yet, but eventually I'd like to. And so you just kind of have this little room here. All of your PCs that you get coming in, as well as parts, kind of come into the hallway here. And here's your PC kind of building stations. You got one here, one back here, and there's one over here that I haven't bought yet because I just haven't had the money. And then you got like components over here that you can look at, all the different components. You got processors, cooling, motherboards, memory, graphics cards, storage, power supplies, all the kind of typical things you would see in a PC. Here's some of the computers that you can have stored away that maybe you still have some work to do on them, things like that. And so here I've got a PC kind of stuck over here that I need to kind of do some more work on it because there's the customer wants a specific thing, and I haven't been able to do that. And the thing I think they wanted to hit a certain 3D Mark rating, and I wasn't able to hit that yet. So I've got to do some kind of rework on that computer at some point before I get that one out. We got a little calendar over here that tells you some of the deliveries you got coming in, some of the things going out, when you have certain things to do, such as pay the utility bill. There's even the component of make sure you turn off the lights before you leave for the day type of thing, because it saves apparently a little bit of electricity, I suppose. But here's my computer. This is my personal computer where I can jump around here and look at different things, such as, different part rankings. Let's see if we can pull that up. It's got little scores here for all the different, MSI, and it's got Sean here, which I don't know what Sean would be a replacement for, because obviously I've never heard of Sean in real life. If there is actually a Sean graphics card in real life, I guess let me know, because I would laugh that I haven't heard of that. But, these other ones you have, Asus, MSI, Gigabyte, things like that. So these are definitely some name brand components here, and it's got them all ranked and things like that, just to kind of help you, know if somebody needs a specific, score maybe, but how much better one processor or one graphic card is over another. We got AMD, we got Intel, all the works. So That's really cool. It's got a music player. I'm not going to jump into the music player just in case any of the music's copyrighted, but you can listen to whatever music you want to do while you're messing around with things. I can select the wallpaper, I guess. Do puppies or kittens or whatever. I like the car. I think it's cool. We got Bongo here, which is our review system. Currently, we're sitting at 4.5 stars. You know, not half bad. Most of my reviews are 5 stars. I think I had one recently that was 1 star because he asked for a very specific 3D Mark benchmark, and I put every combination of parts I can come together on that thing, and I could not get it to within a range that he wanted it at. So I finally just gave up and said, whatever, here, have your back. I'll just get you out of my way. It felt bad, but I didn't know what else to do. I could not get a combination within his price point. He had a specific price point. We got Will It Run here. You even see, hey, look, anybody that watches the channel, Sid Meier's Civ 6. Apparently, these are the recommended specs for Civ 6 and, you know, minimum specs. And I guess the computer that I'm currently doing work on, like this fake desktop here, cannot run Civ 6. What a shame. But, you know, we got some other games in here. And sometimes customers say, hey, I need my game to run this game. Hey, there's World of Warcraft, another game that I've played before. But anyway, here's the shop. And again, similar to the when I went to the racks over there, you can see all the different components, but obviously we see all the different parts, different prices, things of that nature, etc., etc. System info. And now this is just going to show you the system info of my current CPU, but I can install this on somebody else's, you know, one of the customer's CPUs. Okay, I was going to say, wait, where's the actual data? It's over here. One of the customer CPUs to kind of see some of this information. So it's stuff like that. But really, most of your work is going to go through the email system because that's how you get your stuff coming in and how you say, okay, here's what I know that you want me to do. Let me do it. And then you send it back to them and approve it. And that's how you get paid through the email system as well. I have some computers down here that I was kind of messing around with. Did I actually finish any of these? No, let's see here. These need certain star ratings. This is one of the ones I think I have on the platform on the table over there. Actually, you know what? Let's see if did I get these finished off? I don't remember actually. Let's see. What did you need? You needed. Oh, that's right. I ripped all your parts out because I was about to buy you some stuff. What about you? Where are you? What's your status? You have 8 days to complete. You need a 3970 3D Mark score. Currently, you're at a 3638. So we don't quite have the mark that you want. But I can spin this around. You can see inside the computer here. Obviously, you see all the different highlightings here that tells you, you know, if I want to take out the power supply, I've got to get rid of some of these other cables before I can get rid of that. And so it kind of helps you hold your hand a little bit through breaking apart some of the components and things like that. But, you know, here we go. MSI and all that stuff. It's pretty cool. There's a whole hard drive over here. I don't remember what this guy needed. So what I might actually do is, just so I'm not wasting time, I'm going to go ahead and pick these both up, drop them in there, and we're going to go ahead and see if we can pick us up a new PC that I might be able to figure out, you know, right here on the fly. So I kind of like this one right here on the top. PC that can play Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft. Sounds good to me. Let's see here. He says, needs a new computer soon. And there's other things that if you read the email all the way through, they're going to give you hints about some other things they might also want you to do. So, for example, the objective itself is just, it needs a PC that can play Heroes of Warcraft. Is that really what Hearthstone's called? Heroes of Warcraft? I've always heard of it as Hearthstone. I haven't heard the rest of it. But anyway. But then he also says, my son has always gone on about 3D Mark. What is that? So they're going to want us to give them a 3D Mark score as well. And then finally, I worry about used parts. Well, then we don't want to use used parts in this computer or else we might get a lower score. So we're going to go ahead and accept this one. And let's see here. Let's see, maybe we can pick up one of these other ones. Can't believe my PC broke. I'm not sure what's wrong with it. I thought the motherboard was dirty, so I cleaned it with the Hoover. That's just great. My horoscope totally warned me about this. There's not much air coming out the back. Could it be blocked? I know used parts can be cheaper, but I like new ones. If you can, I'd love some plastic black cables. So, and another specific preference. You know, we'll go ahead and accept that one. So that's going to be a diagnosis one. We don't really know what's wrong with that one yet. Here's a good one. This one, they want a brand new computer. They said once it's benchmarked around 2404. That's actually a pretty low benchmark. And an AIO, all-in-one water cooler, would give some headroom for overclocking later on. I heard that you guys put used parts in PCs. Please don't do that. I read that Intel parts are really good. So he wants Intel. It's got an $1,100 budget. I'm pretty sure we can hit a 2,400 benchmark with an $1,100 budget. So we'll go ahead and accept all three of those for now. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's start with that for now and go from there. So we don't know any information right now to be able to go ahead and order some parts for these PCs yet. Well, I guess the PC that we want to build, we could probably come up with something there. Let's go over and go to the shopping. Let's see, for cases, come on. I'm going to just get a basic case. Kind of like this NZXT. It's, it's 80 bucks. It's not one of the super expensive ones. It's also not one of the super cheap ones. I think that's going to be fine. What's the difference between the Elite and the Elite? The Black and the Elite. They look identical to me. I'm sure there's something different, but I'm not seeing it. So we'll just grab... Oh, this one's $20 more. So we'll just grab the regular one. I actually already have some pieces in my cart from my other computers. I'll leave those in there for now, but I forgot about those being in there for one of those other computers. But we'll go ahead and grab this case, and we're going to need a good motherboard and processor. So what do you want to do here? He's got 1,100 bucks to spend. So I have to remember that some of this money is already existent. So we'll have to kind of do some math here in a little bit. Actually, what I may do, it's going to cost me a little bit more money, but just to kind of make this a little bit cleaner, I think what I'm going to do is, come on. Oh, it's down here. I'm going to remove this. It's better to order all your parts at once because you only have to pay one shipping charge. I'm going to go ahead and order these parts just to get them out of there because I don't want to forget that I have them. But that way I can kind of keep track of the 1,100 bucks for this other guy a little bit better. It's going to cost me a little bit of money, but whatever. It's going to be fine. All right, so we got that. So motherboard, what do we want to do for motherboard? Now he did say he likes Intel parts. So we're going to go with an Intel CPU. That's easy enough. So we're going to be looking for probably not a Kaby Lake. We probably want a Skylake CPU. These more Tony ones are, relatively cheap. Nothing to speak of necessarily. It's got some decent RAM. Again, he doesn't need anything super crazy. What else we got down here for Skylake? We got DFL. You know what? I think I'm going to go with this DFL 4-tune because it gives us 3,000 megahertz RAM. Should be pretty useful. It's about $190. Let's see if we can make something work with that. So, add to that to the cart. We're up to 280 bucks. So we are going to need a CPU processor. So let's go look at some Intels. Actually, let's go ahead and filter by, whatever, Intel. Probably going to go with a 6700K if we can afford it, because that's just a good, solid processor. I had that. That's actually, I think, what is in this computer that I'm playing on right now, like my actual computer. That's actually pretty expensive, though. We might not be able to go quite that high. We may have to go with like a 6600K or something like that. He did mention wanting to do some overclocking, and if I remember right, the Ks do have better overclocking, right? Isn't that how it works? I have not overclocked my current computer. I have done some overclocking in the past, but it's been so long, so I haven't really looked at the overclocking for the newer processors. And I'm talking about in real life. I realize I'm going to be crossing over between real life and this game a lot about conversations, but we'll go ahead and add that to this and see what we come up with. Let's get a CPU cooler. He does want an all-in-one, so I think all-in-ones I just got unlocked, so I was going to say we don't have a lot of options there. If we only have a cooler master right here as an option, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and add that. Did not get added? There we go. Memory. Let's go ahead and get him about, 16 gigs of RAM. Sounds good, I think. What do we want to go with? We got Team Group T Force. I think we have some, there's this Sean stuff. We have that more Tony stuff. They got some G-Skill. G-Skill Ripjaw is usually pretty good. Probably want about 3,000 megahertz because that's what I got for the motherboard. Let's see here. 16 gigs of Dominator. Kind of like the Dominators. Let's see. What's an 8 gig Dominator? Do they have an 8 gig Dominator 3000? I'm not seeing one. Oh, there we go. 105 bucks. So if we got a couple of these, we're up to 740 bucks. We haven't even bought the video card yet, or the power supply, or anything. We're gonna be tight. I don't know. We might have to trim back some components. As far as video cards go, I guess we don't have to go super crazy. Now, I don't have unlocked the 2080s and stuff like that. So if you're looking at this and saying, wait a minute, well, why are these the only parts you have? Well, because you have to kind of go through the game and you unlock more parts as you go. So I don't have all the parts unlocked right now. Let's actually sort this by price descending. Let's see what kind of a good video card we can get. It's not going to cost us an arm and a leg. In fact, what we may need to do is just go get us a basic power supply. Let's get us a... Let's get one of these cooler masters, probably. Let's get a cooler master... I don't know. Probably this 500 should be fine. We don't have like any crazy parts in right now. And then... Do we want any extra case fans? I don't know that we need any extra case fans. I mean, we're going to get some pretty good cooling on the processor already. And the case should already come with some fans. So I think we're going to be okay there. I think I have some in my stock supply anyway. What am I missing? Storage. We need some basic storage. Just a little bit of, just kind of a basic SSD. Or we can go with just a regular hard disk. I mean, I'd kind of like to give him an SSD. I feel like that's a good move. This A-Data 120 gigabytes, it's a start. He may want some more later, but he didn't say how big an SSD he wanted, so I don't know that I'm going to stress it too much. Although for 20 bucks more, we can get it double. We'll see if we can get this one to fit into the budget. So that only gives us $200. So we're going to have to trim back on something. Something somewhere is going to have to trim back. So let's go look at the cart. Probably the memory. Possibly even the processor. Let's start with the memory and go from there. Let's go back and check at the memory again. What other options do we have for 3,000? Let's actually just type in 3,000. What are some cheaper options for 3,000? We can just give him 8 gigs of RAM for right now. Give him, these are $100 sticks, which are a little bit cheaper. I feel like 16 gigs has got to be a minimum, though. We'll go with the cheaper RAM. Again, that's not going to be quite enough, though. Let's see if we can get a cheaper... Is there a cheaper motherboard? Although the motherboard we got was the one that had 3,000 specifically on it. So that's... We'd have to probably change around the memory again anyway. This Gigabyte one over here. Oh, that's AM4. Never mind. Let's go Skylake. Skylake. The cheapest would be this one right here, which is 2666. You know what? Again, we don't have to hit a very high score. Let's just go with that. And we'll drop off this one. We can drop off the RAM again because we're obviously got a smaller limit now. What was it? 2666. And $85 sticks. We got some $45 sticks. Those are 4 gigs. Let's grab a couple of these up here. I don't know if there's any difference here other than color. I can't imagine that there is. We'll go with the we'll go with those. That sounds good. So now what are we up to? We are up to got everything we need except the video card, right? Memory, hard drive, processor, cooler, case, and power supply. Yeah, I think we're good. So now we just got to get a graphics card. And now we have $400 to spend on a graphics card. So we can actually get a really good graphics card. What we got here? We get him a MSI. Not bad. Get him just a regular 980. A 1060. Overclocked Asus. I actually kind of like that one. Looks pretty cool too. You know, let's go with that. Let's go with that. We're a little bit below the budget, but that means that gives us some cushion if we need to buy something else, want to put some fans in, whatever. So I think we're at a pretty good spot there because we were at what exactly? It was actually 1110, but I think this is actually going to be pretty solid. And I think surely this can hit a 2404. I would be pretty surprised if it doesn't. All right, let's go ahead and buy these parts. We're going to go ahead and do next day delivery for these as well. Now it is going to put us negative on the balance, but it does allow you to go a little bit negative to, to buy some parts before, to be able to put a computer together or, repair somebody's computer and then kind of get the money back once you sell it back. So we'll go ahead and buy this now. I think that's going to be fine. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to shut my computer down. I'm going to turn off the light over here. And we're going to go to the next day so we can see this new computer. All right, end day. All right, let's go to work. All right, so here's the two computers that we've got to do some fixing to, but here's our parts for our new computer. Just come in here, turn you on. We'll go ahead and turn you on, get you going. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and grab... Oh, I forgot which one of you it is. I do have another computer that I was going to be building as well. Let's double check which one it is we're actually building here up at the top. It is Gerald G. Stevens Fish. Gerald Stevens. All right, we're going to drop you over here. Now that's going to allow us to go ahead and come over here and actually grab the case that we bought, which is this one. Go ahead and drop this in here. Let's go see if we can put this thing together real quick for him. Come on. Go over to the side. Oh, it's not letting me. There we go. I was going to say, why is it not letting me get to the side? Okay, here we go. Go ahead and pull out some of the screws here. We're going to have to take out this real quick, obviously. And let's go ahead and install us a power supply. Now, he does want to make sure we get the new parts. I think I grabbed a 500 for him, I believe it was. Yeah, it's Cooler Master 500. Go ahead and drop that in there. That's good to go. Let's go ahead and grab the motherboard. And it was the Fortune, I believe it was, right? Yes. Which I have a couple used, but I also have this brand new one down here. I had a different motherboard as well, but I guess this is the only one I have. I'm going to drop you in here. It's actually going to let us put the motherboard mounting screws in here, which is kind of funny, kind of cool. I say funny, it's cool. It's just going through all the little details. I do have a little perk that gives me a little bit of faster, unscrewing and screwing things in. So that's part of the reason why those are going a little bit faster. Let's go ahead and open the clips on the memory, and we'll go ahead and install that anyway. It should be fine. All right, 16 gigs of RAM. Let's go ahead and open you up. What did I give you? The 6600K, right? Yes. Did I pass it? There it is. Come on, open up. There we go. Go ahead and drop that in there. We'll go ahead and lower this. So that's all lowered in. One thing we do need to go ahead and do, make sure we put on some thermal paste, a little dot of thermal paste there. And we will go ahead and install the Cooler Master. I haven't done any of these all-in-ones yet, so this is definitely new. Okay, so it actually lets you pick where you want to mount this. Huh. Well, I actually think I'm going to want to mount it over here on the back. Get the air coming out the back here. We may move this fan to the front or something. I think that'll work just fine. Just have that air being blown out the back. I think that'll work pretty good. What else we got going on here? All that's there. Let's go ahead and get the power or the graphics card put in. Which one was it? It was I got a lot of used ones that I might be able to put in people's things at some point. Grab this one. And the good thing about used ones is that it allows you to, if somebody doesn't care about used, allows you to give them a used one. They get a discount on the component that you give them, and then you get a discount because you don't have to go buy a brand new part. So it's better for both people if they're okay with having used. Oh, I need to get that other one too. This is a big old video card. All right, go ahead and drop that in there. Get the screws in. I am going to go ahead and what did I want to do? I want to put one of these fans because I got that extra fan here. Might as well put it in here. That we got from his thing. Where is it? Case fans. Go ahead and grab this. Why does it not let me? Oh, does it install there? Oh no, this is that was 120 millimeter, and he has these are 140. I actually have this case, so I should have known that. Let's see here. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and give him one of my fans. Why not? We have a little bit of extra budget in place. Is it? I thought they went right here. Does it go right there? I have this case, but I don't have fans up here actually for mine. I have them in a slightly different location. Oh, is it because I have to remove this thing to put these in? Okay, so it does go there, but it's just that thing was in the way. Okay, that's fine. Now I think we can put that back. The dust filter. And front panel. All right, I think we're good to go ahead and, oh, we gotta get the, let's get the hard drive in there. I'm gonna drop it down here. All right, let's go ahead and install the cable. So we got this little cable button that's gonna allow us to just, grab the cables and just plug them in somewhere. Kind of holds your hand a little bit, which is helpful. There's no reason to make this harder than it has to be. Although, honestly, if you've ever built a PC, there kind of is a little bit of hand holding. Most of these cables can only go in one place. I mean, a few of them, like the graphics card ones, like some of the newer power supplies, they do have specific graphics card, cables that you want to plug into. You want to make sure you don't plug in something else there or whatever, because I think they're on their own like little rail, like power rail or something like that, to kind of give them more dedicated power or something. I don't know. I'm probably speaking out of my backside right now because I don't know a lot about power, but I think the idea, or what I've read, is that the graphics cards, some of the newer ones, they have their own dedicated kind of system within the power supply, if you will. And that's why sometimes you want to make sure you're careful with those. But most of the other cables can kind of be interchangeable, and most of them only fit one way. Like, obviously, this big one here goes on the motherboard. That's the only big one that's in there. I mean, there is no other one. So you really can't get that one wrong. Most of the case fans, the motherboard's going to have little labels that says, hey, here's for case fan, or here's for the power CPU fan, or things like that. So putting a PC together is actually relatively easy if you just follow a pretty basic, simple instructions. And you're not going too complex. Obviously, this all-in-one is pretty easy to put together. If you're going to do full-on actual custom liquid cooling, that's probably, next level. You probably want to make sure you actually know what you're doing before you just do something like that. But a basic computer is easy enough. Anyway, so that's that. Anything else we want to do here? It does already go ahead and plug all the cables in for us to be able to test this. I think we're actually good here. Let's go ahead and turn the power on. Actually, what I need to do is grab my USB drive. It's going to make me restart this because it doesn't have a, I was going to say it doesn't have an OS. Yep. Turn the power off. Turn the power on. I forgot to put the USB thing in there first. And we got Omega System, our OS here. Going ahead and installing in there. Thankfully, they did shrink up the time of a lot of this stuff. So it does take, obviously, way less time to install an operating system, things like that. So very, very good. We need to go ahead and add some programs in here. We do want to go ahead and grab 3D Mark. And I think that's the only thing we needed for this one. So we're going to go ahead and restart the computer. While that's restarting, I'm going to come run over here real quick. Make sure there wasn't any other kind of interesting little things that he wanted. He wants an all-in-one cooler. He wants 2404. He says overclocking later, so we don't need overclocking now, which is an option. We could overclock, but he says he doesn't need that right now. We've got new parts, and we've got Intel. I think we're covered as long as we hit the 3D Mark score. So we're going to come over here, open up 3D Mark. Again, this looks very similar to the 3D Mark you would see if you were running it on your actual computer. And we're going to jump right into this, and it's going to go ahead and jump into the 3D Mark run through here. Now, this does take about, 30, 45 seconds, something like that. It does take a little bit. So usually what I do is I have that running, and I start looking at something else while it's doing its thing. Let's go ahead and grab this guy's computer real quick while that's doing that. I can see he's got basically the exact same case. Oh my goodness, look at that. Pretty sure you could already see one thing that's wrong with this computer. Let's go ahead and grab compressed air. Blow out as much of this air as we can get. I don't know, is this the guy that said he was trying to do something with his vacuum cleaner or something? I have no idea what he thought he was doing here. Well, those are some bright, I guess, pink or purple cables there. I think it's hard to tell, but I think we got all the dust out of there. Let's just turn it on, see if it comes on. All right, so it definitely does not come on. Because I don't want to dig into the motherboard and stuff like that if I don't have to. I'm going to go ahead and grab this out of here. And Sean King 350. Let's see if the power supply has any problems. I doubt it. It probably is the motherboard, honestly, based on what the guy said. But we'll grab the power supply out first, because it's a little bit easier to get out of here than some of the other stuff. So 350, let's see here. Let's check that real quick. Let's go to our inventory, power supply, 350. Nope, nothing wrong with that, so that's okay. Go ahead and put you back in there. We're going to have to undo a lot of those cables to do the motherboard anyway, so that's fine. probably the motherboard at this point. So we're probably going to have to go ahead and undo a lot of this stuff. While we're doing that, though, let's check this real quick. All right, look at that. 39.59. We are well over the score that he wanted. Definitely, he wanted a 2404, and we got him a 3900 system. But he also gave us a pretty big chunk of money. So did we oversell him? I don't know, perhaps. But again, he gave us the money for it. So we're going to give him a decent system. All right, we'll go ahead and close out of this. We'll go ahead and shut down this computer real quick. Let's come back over here. And anything else we need to do in here? I don't think so. We could have put prettier cables in, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. Let's go ahead and make sure we put the PSU mount back on. And we don't need the PCI cover because we already got those out. The lock, though, we need to go back on. And then finally, the side panel. And there we go. There is a brand new PC for somebody. Not bad. Let's go ahead and come back over here. And Mr. Gerald Stevens here, he gave us $380 of labor. But took us, just a couple minutes there to put that thing together. Go ahead and collect that. He only gave us 1 star, really? We gave him Intel. We only used new parts. He got an extremely high 3D Mark score. Maybe we blew the 3D Mark score too high. Got all-in-one water cooler. Obviously, the PC can boot the OS. I'm actually not sure why he only gave us 1 star on that, to be honest. Was he expecting us to overclock it as well? I know it talked about it, but it said later on. Maybe maybe that was like a subtle hint. Please overclock my CPU. I don't know. Oh well. So we got a low score, and honestly don't know why, because that one felt like a good one. But we're going to go ahead and put a cut in here for now. Kind of you can see a little bit about how this game works and what some of the concepts are. We're going to come back next time, and we'll go ahead and do the repairs on that other computer and go from there. But I do appreciate you watching, and I hope you join me again next time. If you do like these and want to see more of these, more than just a Let's Try, or even just more Let's Try of other games, let me know what other games you want me to try out, or whatever. And please give me a thumbs up, especially on the first episode of the series. It really helps out a lot. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so you continue to see more good, exciting games like this. I do appreciate you watching. Thank you, and goodbye.